My name is Kelly Olafson, and I've been active in the business world for about 30 years in both the communications and energy businesses. I've worked for companies like Nova Corporation, which is now part of TransCanada Pipelines. I've worked for Shell in Mexico and the UK, and I've worked for the big advertising agencies BBDO and Ogilvy and Mather pretty much all over the world. And a large part of my role in those companies was in training and in coaching and in facilitation. And partially as a result of that kind of experience, I've come to a fairly strong view that when you have a team that isn't functioning to its full potential, something's not quite right, where you have a vendor relationship that's breaking down or a client relationship that just isn't working, it's usually as a result of underdeveloped skills. Now, a lot of people think of those skills as soft skills, and that's a term I've never actually really liked because it implies that they're somehow fluffy, and they're not. They're a key determinant of business success. And it actually starts right at the beginning of the communication process with listening skills. Now, human beings like us love to talk. We like to talk a lot more than we like to listen. And if you think about your own experience in a recent meeting or even in a personal situation where you were supposed to be listening to somebody, chances are that instead of actually listening, what you were doing was thinking about what you were going to say, planning ahead your response before they were even finished speaking. And as a result of that, we often miss important information in business conversations. Now, the key to that is that you have to be properly trained and coached to do that. Listening is not something that comes to us completely naturally. The second skill I look at a lot is the use of questions. Someone once said that the use of a question is, next to a physical assault, the most aggressive thing you can do to another human being. If you think about a meeting where somebody is being really relentlessly questioned, you know how uncomfortable that can be. So the trick is learning how to question people in a way that doesn't put them either on the defensive or get them completely offside, and that's a skill that can be learned. The third thing is presentation skills, and most people I know when they start taking presentation skills are very, very uncomfortable with this. A lot of people say, oh, I could never do that. And you think about our business life, though, it's a large part of what we do. We're presenting to groups of 3 or 4 people in a conference room, 30 or 40 in a hotel room, or maybe even an auditorium of 300 and 400 people. And in those situations, knowing how to present properly is often the difference between success and failure. Because if you think about a situation where you tried to sell a concept or an idea or a strategy and it didn't work, it may not have been your strategy or concept or idea. It may have been the fact that your presentation went clunk. So learning how to do that properly can have a huge effect on your business life. The last one of the so-called softer skills that I teach is negotiation skills. I was a commercial director here in Asia Pacific for about 10 years, negotiating contracts with great big clients, big contracts. And as a result of that experience, I've come to a view that it is absolutely possible to negotiate win-win deals where people can both walk away from the table and figure they got what they needed. But it's a skill that has to be learned. So if you accept the view that teams can fail because they haven't got the right mix of soft skills, then obviously team performance can be enhanced by developing those skills properly. One of the biggest kicks I get these days is actually running into someone on the street that I've trained years ago, maybe not seen for 10 or 15 years, and they say, you know what, that presentation skills workshop made a huge difference to my professional life and actually my business, because now I'm having a greater success rate as I sell through ideas and concepts and strategies. So if you think you or your team would benefit from this kind of coaching or mentoring or teaching, I'd love to hear from you. The contact details are right on the screen. Until then, take care, and I'd love to hear from you soon.